Welcome back to the show. Check it out. We got Chris Larsen calling out Gary Gensler like never before. And guess what else we got? USDTether being investigated by the United States government. Uh-oh. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.38 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency. The market's off 3.6 right now. And I believe that is because of the news that we've heard overnight. 66,900 plus for Bitcoin, 2,400 plus for Ethereum, 120 billion plus market cap for Tether for now. USDC 34 billion plus, XRP number 7 spot 51 cents. We're off 2.1 in the 24 and we're off 5.5% on the 7-day. Look at the range of price as we dipped all the way down to 49 cents on the bottom overnight and then back up to 52, currently sitting at 0.5149. I will be buying the dip later on, and that is not financial advice. Let's take a look at this very quickly here. I'll tell you something. Link to private equity, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I get so excited about this because I know the wealthiest 1% of the people in the world, this is their honeypot, private equity. And you can get access to it at a level that no one else can, because Link2 brings private equity at a level that no other company in the private equity space does. That's right, the most affordable minimums and the fastest onboarding process in the world. Listen, click the link below to our sponsor and just check it out for yourself and see. Ripple. You just name it. Ripple, Uphold, Cerebras, Anthropic, Zipline. The list goes on and on. Click the link below and check out my sponsor. Let's get started. Let's remind everybody here that, shout out to Jim for all of the information he puts out. We'd be lost without this guy. Ripple SEC case. The SEC has requested that the deadline for filing its principal brief be January 15th, 2025. I'm thinking after all of the, is it deadline? Did they miss the deadline on the last filing for the Form C? I think maybe they're looking for that absolute clarity here. So January 15th, if it's approved, we'll see. But I want you to hear this. Look, I have watched Chris Larsen since I've been in this space. I've never heard Chris speak this openly and direct in my life. And it's pretty refreshing, to be perfectly honest with you. Take a listen.
Let me just say, I think Gary Gensler has been the worst public servant that we've ever had in this country. It's been incredibly damaging to this country. But look, I think we need to be really thoughtful here. I look at what sort of Reid Hoffman said about Lena Khan. He's a big contributor to the Dems. He said Lena Khan needs to go. That's spectacularly backfired, right? If anything, that probably ensures Lena Khan stays in that role. And, we could argue, the things that she's done, some good, some bad. But I'm not going to empower Gary Gensler to have any excuse on what happens with his future. So I'm not going to comment on that. And I don't think donors should be getting involved in things like that, right? We're supporting the candidate. We're supporting her core values. And it is, her leadership that is going to, have to make decisions like that.
So you see that he's clearly distinguishing the difference between supporting the candidate Harris as opposed to supporting Gary Gensler. I mean, I've never seen Chris speak this directly about things like this. It's quite refreshing, to be honest. Thank you, Chris. And here we have this reminder, if you didn't catch it yesterday, R3, the blockchain company, the one partner with the DTCC and Swift. That R3. Yeah, the same R3 that was in a legal battle years ago because they partnered with Ripple and didn't live up to the bargain and then settled for a portion of that 5 billion XRP pre-allocated option contract. I say, hey, Brad Garlinghouse, this would be a great way to settle the score with R3 and get the XRP back that they never respectfully earned. We'll see. Meanwhile, the CEO of America's largest bank, Jamie Dimon, says the global order is at risk. In other words, a transformation of the international monetary system, yes, is in fact underway. There's no question. Look at BRICS block alone. It cannot be denied. Look at the update from FedWire to FedNow. Look at all the payment system updates around the world. This is going to be one crazy cycle between 25 and 30. I don't think we're going to recognize the way things were before then. It'll be very difficult to remember, I think. I really do. Meanwhile, we know what happened. This is an older clip, but we know that at the same time all of this transformation of the financial system is happening, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink gets behind Bitcoin, calls it a flight to quality a year ago. And meanwhile, they're holding the largest ETF since the launch of spot ETFs for Bitcoin. They've almost doubled since the IBIT holds around 2% of the total Bitcoin supply currently. So you see what's happening here. I believe that Bitcoin has been offered in this regard, in the ETF regard, to provide exposure to high-end retail clients, and I think also retail, period, in general, can have exposure to this that don't want to hold Bitcoin directly. And why would they do that? Because I believe Bitcoin was created knowing that there would be a monetary crisis and a transformation of the financial system, and it has been a way to introduce this technology and test it in each applicable area, whether it was for payments or whether it's now for an investment product. So I think the same thing with USDTether, which is where the conversation's about to turn to. I want to remind you of this before we talk about it, though. At Singapore FinTech Festival, this is going to be very interesting here in November, in just another couple weeks here. Ripple is the moderator. That is Raul Advani right there. Shout out to Raul. Stable coins on the panel, and this awesome roundtable will include, the Bank of International Settlements, the Bank of England, Bank of Japan, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, Financial Stability Board, Circle, Paxos, StraightSX, and TRM Labs. Now, let me just prove it to you, because here's the website, right? And here they are. Look at this. Zodia Custody, TRM Labs, Bank of International Settlements, Bank of England. The list goes on, ladies and gentlemen. VP Compliance at APAC, Circle, Paxos, Head of Products, Financial Stability Board. You know, I'm sure it's nothing. Because at the same time, Tether's made the front page here today, and we're going to talk about it. But first we want to say, this new from Tether CEO Paulo Arduno says he has no plans to take Tether public at the moment because he believes it would impair the company's ability to move fast and keep disrupting the status quo. Oh, okay. He says he thinks a company should go public when they need access to capital and liquidity, a problem that Tether, which made $12 billion in profits over the last 2 years, doesn't have. This comment reminded Eleanor of a similar response she received when talking to Brad Garlinghouse and asked him about the Ripple going public at some point. And he had mentioned, my first reaction to that is, number one reason why companies go public is that they want to raise capital. We have over $1 billion at Ripple of cash on the balance sheet. We don't need to go raise capital right now. I don't see us going public in the immediate term. I don't see it either. And that's fine because they got the case that's hanging in front of them. But check this out. This broke. U.S. government launches investigation into USDTether crypto firm, Tether. Yeah. Look, isn't this what I've been saying for a few years now? At least 2, maybe more. We don't have a regulated market until everything in the market is highly regulated. That's why we have the internet we're all using right now. And we also have the dark web, which I do not mess around with. They're getting ready to establish the same thing for Web 3. You're going to have a regulated, highly regulated Web 3, and then you're going to have the dark Web 3. Then it's a reminder at the same time that we find out, and this is according to the Wall Street Journal, that Tether's being investigated, by the way. And we know we're waiting for the imminent launch of the real USD by Ripple on XRP, Ledger, and Ethereum's network. Okay, listen, that is remarkable. That's exposure to almost $400 billion in market cap between the two networks. Certainly over 300. Now look at this. According to Wall Street Journal, USDTether is under investigation. There it is right there. Now, here is the nice little clip you need to hear when Brad Garlinghouse did this interview.
Optimism, yes, about what's coming. Do I think there's going to be another black swan? Of course, 100%. I just don't know exactly what it is. The only one that's going to be an interesting one to watch, and I don't even know how he calls a black swan, because I feel like black swan by definition can't really be like predicted. Oh, didn't see that happening.
Yeah.
The U.S. government is going after Tether. That is clear to me. I view Tether as a very important part of the ecosystem, and I don't know how to predict
the impact that will have.
There you have it. So the U.S. government's going after Tether. Take a listen to this right here.
Federal investigators are probing Tether for possible misuse in illegal activities like drug trafficking and terrorism. The Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office is leading the investigation, examining Tether's role in laundering funds. The Treasury Department is considering sanctions against Tether, which could limit American business interactions with the company. Tether, the most traded crypto globally, is pegged to the US dollar and is reportedly linked to several national security concerns. The Justice Department's inquiry has been ongoing for years, initially focusing on potential bank fraud by Tether's backers. Tether denies any wrongdoing and emphasizes its cooperation with law enforcement, with founder Paulo Arduno indicating in a post on X that there is no indication the company is under investigation. Recently, Tether froze about 1,850 crypto wallets, recovering over $114 million in assets. The company is enhancing its monitoring efforts and has partnered with analytics firms to improve transaction surveillance.
Well, let's take a look here. Just in, CEO Paulo Arduno denies the Wall Street Journal report that the firm is under investigation by the U.S. government. But Brad Garlinghouse said the U.S. government's going after Tether too. For the people in the back, we don't have a regulated market until everything is highly regulated. Write that down. They're not going to let all of this shit. They didn't let the internet just go to whatever, right? It's not rocket science, but this story sounds awful familiar, doesn't it? Shout out to Smoke Dog. Remember SBF and FTX? A competitor is trying to go after us with false rumors. FTX is fine. Assets are fine, right? CEO Paulo Arduno denies the report that the firm is under investigation. At Tether, we deal regularly and directly with law enforcement officials to help prevent rogue nations, terrorist criminals from misusing USDT. We would know if we were being investigated, as the article falsely claimed. Well, this is awful bold. Based on that, we can confirm that the allegations in the article are unequivocally false. Then how does Brad Garlinghouse know that they're being targeted by the U.S. government? I say to Paulo Arduno's response here, the plot thickens. But then again, most government agencies don't send out emails that you're under investigation while it is happening. They just arrest people after the investigation is complete. What they don't usually do is announce that there is an investigation only to walk away from it. Like I said, the plot thickens. Dark Defender says, watch out for these prices, but check it out. We dipped. We dipped all the way down here. Let's see where we dipped here. 49 cents. This is why we follow Egg Red Crypto and the Dark Defenders of the world. Look at this. We expected signaling to possibly hit 48.50 or 48.64, which was on target. He said, I will share with you further analysis. Just know XRP is loading guns, lots of guns. There you have it right there. But let's take a look at this from Egg Red Crypto. I love this particular chart that he put together here because it compares Bitcoin price to where you could ultimately see XRP. And this is what I love about this. Let's take a look at this. I love this metric and just kind of, being able to follow this. So if Bitcoin hits $70,000, that could put XRP in comparison to the charts, Bitcoin to XRP charts. If Bitcoin hits 70,000, the charts say that could put XRP at $12 equivalent. If Bitcoin hits 100,000, it could put XRP at $17. and so on. $130,000 Bitcoin could put XRP at $22 comparably. $160,000 Bitcoin could see a $27 XRP, and a $200,000 Bitcoin could see a $34 XRP. What I love about this is a mental exercise, and it's just an exercise, not financial advice, but it's, as an exercise, is being able to say, how likely do you think Bitcoin will hit $70,000? Because I think it's quite likely. How likely do you think Bitcoin will hit $100,000? And I think it is quite likely, and so on. So all of these are believable and much easier for me to see these targets when I'm looking at Bitcoin. And then knowing that comparatively, this is where we could see the price relative to Bitcoin's price for XRP. This is remarkable. Shout out to both of these guys. I mean, they do so much for all of us. And I know that, you know, at times when the market's down, technical analysts get beat up, and I hate to see it because they don't deserve it. They're so kind to be able to share their information, and I don't take it for granted. I appreciate each and every one of them, and that's going to do it for me. But we are going into the Freedom Zone, ladies and gentlemen, and you're going to want to come with us today. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspective, excuse me. I hope you will join us in the Freedom Zone. Today we're going to take a real good look at a clip here from someone who's running for president. You're going to want to see it. It really kind of lays out exactly the shift, the political shift that has taken place. We're going into their Freedom Zone right now. Join us at digitalperspectives.com. Click the Freedom Zone and come on in. All right.